can be charged and tried in more than one place.
All right, and the outcome of the case could affect many criminals, including the man walking in that shot, Paul Manafort.
Here to weigh in is Fox News senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano.
All right, so even though this is called gamble versus the United States, it has nothing to do with gambling. We start with a provision in the Constitution that prohibits double jeopardy, repeated efforts to try someone after acquittal.
For the same thing.
Correct. So the framers wanted this in there because British kings would try you. You were found not guilty. They'd try you again before another jury and again before another jury. The Constitution prohibits it. But the Supreme Court has looked at this and said it only prohibits the same government from trying you again. So if you commit a crime that is both a state and a federal crime, you can be tried twice. You can be tried in state court, for example, found not guilty. Then you can be tried in federal court and found guilty. We now have a case. It's just a possession of drugs and possession of a firearm, where a guy was convicted in Alabama state court, sentenced to a year in jail, and then the feds indicted him for the same crime. And he says, wait a minute, the double jeopardy clause prohibits this second prosecution. But we now have a Supreme Court that is willing to interpret the double jeopardy clause as the framers intended it. We have Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Clarence Thomas agreeing on this principle.
Why is it taking so long? This seems like
Steve, it has been 150 years since they last examined whether or not the double jeopardy clause prohibits the two different sovereigns, a state like New Jersey or Alabama in this case, and the federal government. How does this apply to Paul Manafort? So when Manafort pleaded guilty in September, his guilty plea was 175 pages long. I've never seen one like it. He not only pleaded guilty to federal crimes for which he was charged, he pleaded guilty to state crimes for which he has not yet been charged. Why did they do that? Because they fear that the president might pardon Paul Manafort.
Wow.
If he's pardoned, the day of the pardon, he'll be indicted by the states, unless those prosecutions would be prohibited by a new double jeopardy interpretation.
Whoa, when will we find out?
Does this make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
The oral argument is Thursday. I don't think we'll have a decision until April.